Sacramento Monarchs.
Yes.
How about that? As I said earlier, in these parts, she needs no introduction, but we're just going to call her the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Sacramento Monarch, and synonymous with basketball in Sacramento. We are honored to have her join us this morning. It's Ticha Penicheiro. Ticha, it's Dave, Jason, Ross. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing amazing. How about you guys?
Doing fantastic. It's a bittersweet week. Huh?
Yeah, besides your brackets, they're probably not doing very well, but everything else is gravy.
Ticha, Jason's in first place in his bracket pool. He's in first.
Hey, it's just the first day. More madness is coming.
Exactly.
For sure.
Tisha knows. She knows. She knows I'll fall apart.
You know, we're talking about memories and everything going on tomorrow out at Arco. We've been talking to folks all week long, and we're so proud to be able to finish with you, Ticha. I can guess what your favorite memory is there, but I don't want to. Is there one thing that sticks out that you remember more than anything at Arco?
Yeah, maybe September 2005 when we had a chance to win a championship in front of our amazing fans. I mean, that definitely tops all the memories that I have from Arco. There are a lot, but that definitely one is the most remarkable one for sure.
Well, and the WNBA, you guys started here as far as with the Monarchs as one of the original teams, and you know how it was as far as in other buildings. But Ticha, a championship would have been special anywhere, but to win that one at home, it was a full house. I mean, that night, as far as your career, where does that rank?
I get that question all the time, like, what's your favorite moment from all your career? And I always go back to that game to win in front of our fans. We had been trying to get that championship for a while, and back then it was West versus East. Now it's all combined, but it was tough just to even get out of the West. So finally in 2005, all the stars aligned, a lot of hard work and dedication, and we were able to win. And to win at home in front of our amazing fans was just an incredible feeling. And everything that I've won on the individual level and obviously as a team, no other game, no other trophy tops that one.
As we talk to old friends this week, always got to ask you in the middle of talking about Arco memories, just let everybody know, what are you up to now? How are you? I know how busy you are, but for those who don't, how are you filling your days these days?
So I knew that when I retired, I wanted to stay close to the game. I also knew that I did not want to coach, especially being a point guard. I felt like I coached all my life, So I'm a sports agent now. I represent young women that are transitioning from the college to the WNBA and also overseas. So basically, they're doing what I did. So I work for SIG agency out of Maryland, Sports International Group. And it was basically, as soon as I retired, I went into it. It was a smooth transition. It's been almost 10 years now, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. So, yeah, the madness starts for me tonight, too. Today, in a couple of minutes, with the NCAA tournament starting, I'm recruiting some of the young women playing now in the tournament. So it's been a great transition, and at the end of the day, I'm still involved with women's basketball, which is my passion.
Well, it's funny as you say that, because I know we would say that in the broadcast, how you were a point guard and the leader and another coach on the floor. Why so against coaching? It just, I know you're happy, which is what you should be, and what you're doing. I just always thought you would have been a good coach. You just were never interested.
I think just the time that requires. I gave basically my whole life to basketball, and I didn't want to continue to do something that required so much attention and just sacrifice. My family still lives in Portugal, and I wanted to find something where it gave me a little bit more freedom with my agenda and my schedule, where I can go home for a couple of months and spend time with my parents, with my family, with my friends. And being a coach, you don't really have that luxury, right? Especially if you coach on the college level. Maybe if I did a WNBA, I would be able to do so. But I started even thinking while I was still playing, what's next, what I want to do. And the more I thought about being an agent, it kind of just made sense to me. And my freedom is also important. I feel like I can be anywhere in the world and still do my job in an efficient way, as long as I have my computer and my phone with me. So that's kind of why, the reason number one. And obviously now I'm in a good place, and I really love what I do.
Ticha Penicheiro joining us. Ticha, I'm going somewhere with this two-part question. I'm going to make a point here, but I want to put you on the spot at 8:04 our time in the morning here. Your career was so amazing, and it has to be part of that amazingness, which isn't a word, is how much of the world outside of Sacramento you were able to see? Just playing basketball. Can you list off, just for the audience, all the places you were blessed enough to play ball through your career?
Yeah. I mean, basketball really was the main reason why I had a passport. It really took me all over the world because not only I played in the WNBA, but also played overseas, all over Europe in the off season because we have such a long off season. So Italy, Russia, Latvia, France, Czech Republic, Turkey, Portugal. I mean, and that's where I play. But then I used to fly to other countries to go play against those teams. So basically, I had to change passports like 3 or 4 times just because I didn't have enough pages for all the stamps. And then I can talk about Asia, Japan, Australia, just basically all over the world. And it was the coolest job to play basketball and actually get paid for it. So I definitely enjoyed it. It just went by super fast. Too fast.
And here's where I'm going, Ticha. You have been literally all over the world playing basketball in front of so many different crowds. When you think of those crowds, and by the way, no disrespect to anyone else, and you think about the fans here, those Monarchs fans, and then you think about the fact that it's been, I want to say 13 years since we had the Monarchs.
Yeah.
How much of that wrong needs to be righted in bringing that team back?
It needs to happen. I mean, seriously, my heart is still broken for the fact that the team just vanished.
Yeah.
We didn't have a chance to even try to keep the team in Sacramento. I mean, at the time, the Maloofs made a business decision, I guess, but I wish they would have tried to sell it. I think we would have gotten investors in Sacramento to keep the team there. And those fans were amazing. And I know they're still hurting, and I hope that eventually, sooner rather than later, we'll get another team. And if not in Sacramento, close enough where those fans can go back and be part of the WNBA season.
I'm sure knowing them, the Monarchs fans that are still here and still around, I'm sure you still hear from them, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's I think a group on Facebook talking about bring the Monarchs back. Yep. So I don't know if there's a petition. Maybe there was back in the day, but I know there's talks about expansion, and I know there's talks about possibly a team in the Bay. I think the owner of the Golden State Warriors has expressed some interest in possibly bringing a team. So I know there's a demand in the Bay Area for a WNBA team, and I really hope that eventually it will happen. I would love to go back. I mean, I know that I have amazing memories, not just from my teammates, but also from the fans and the people in Sacramento. It was really my second home because when I played, I left Portugal, played at Virginia at Old Dominion, and then in '98 when I was drafted, I had to change my life all over again to go to the West Coast. In Sacramento welcomed me with open arms, and it was like my new home. I bought a house there. I lived there. I loved it. And, it's always good to go back.
We were talking the other day about at the same time in Sacramento, there was a time where the paths crossed where the Kings had Jason Williams and the Monarchs had you. And highlight for player in each league. I mean, Jay Will's got one of the best highlight reels, as do you, Ticha. I mean, how much fun did you have in kind of creating highlights? It just seemed like it came second nature to you, but you have some of the best highlights in the league.
Thank you. I mean, Jason and I didn't play with social media, so
right.
We just really just enjoy. I just enjoy. I like to have fun. I grew up playing in the playgrounds, as I'm sure he did, so that's how we had a little flavor. Sometimes we probably put too much ketchup on the hot dog, if you know what I mean, and we turn the ball over. But we just enjoyed playing the game. We had a lot of passion, and we just had fun, and it was actually pretty cool to have a player like that playing for the Kings because I could definitely took some pages out of his book. So, but we had a lot of fun for sure.
Last question I have for you, Ticha. The women's game continues to grow, and it still has a long way to grow. And I can't think of too many people in the world that would have a better idea, in your opinion, next 5 years, 10 years. What would you like to see happen? How can we grow the game even more?
Continue to talk about it, continue to have people that support it by watching and to really support it. I think little girls now, I grew up wanting to be like Magic and Michael Jordan. Little girls now, they can grow up wanting to be like Sue Bird and Lisa Leslie and Yolanda Griffith. We are here. The league is like 25 years old. It's a dream that is possible for young girls, and we just have to continue to support it. And continue to watch it. And I think the parity now, I was, filling out my brackets for the women's side. And before, all the number one seeds made it to the Final Four and you kind of knew who was going to win. And I think the parity now is great. There's way more competitiveness, even with the WNBA. The other thing that I think needs to happen is expansion. We need to create more jobs for these amazing women that are working so hard in college to play in the WNBA. So we need to create more opportunities, and we need to continue to grow. And that's with sponsorships, with viewership, all of that stuff, and obviously you guys, the media, covering it.
The legend, the Hall of Famer, Ticha Penicheiro. Ticha, you know this. Not only do you always have a home with us, you've always got a home. You should never have to buy a meal in this town, ever. And what you've meant to this city, what you've meant to these fans. I personally can't wait to see you introduced wherever it may be when the Monarchs come back and listen to that applause, that ovation, I should say. It's going to be a special moment, and I do believe it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You just gave me goosebumps. So let's hope and pray that day happens, because I'll be the number one fan in the stands cheering for the Monarchs. So.
Thank you so much, Ticha. It's an honor. You take care.
Thank you.
All right, that's Ticha Penicheiro joining us. I kind of got goosebumps too.
Yeah. Legend.
Absolute legend, and